From broken bones to a possible loss of long-term independence, older adults could see significant health issues all because of a fall.
Joining us now in this sponsored interview is Dr. Christopher Valentine with Optum to share the steps to take for prevention. And this topic, doctor, is such a scary one. I've had grandparents who have had falls, broken hips, and sometimes you think, is this the beginning of the end when that happens?
Yes, it is a major risk factor. It doesn't mean that there aren't ways that we can rehabilitate, but really the best thing that we can do is focus on prevention.
And when we are talking about our older adults, it's really hard because that can really be a life-changing thing for not the great part.
Yes,
right?
No, I mean, not just, and thinking not just about whether or not there's a trauma. I mean, obviously, if there's a hip fracture involved and the rehabilitation associated with that, but a lot of times just that first fall, even if there's no injury, winds up causing older adults to feel like they're more vulnerable. And then as a result, they might kind of shy away a little bit from independent activity. They might exercise less. They might, be more afraid of going out because they're afraid they're going to fall. And that reduced activity can lead to increased weakness and could increase the risk for a future fall. So we need to address that as well.
I don't think I've ever heard it explained that way, and that makes so much sense. More than 3 million seniors annually need that emergency treatment because of a fall, and that's the leading cause of injury and death among seniors.
Yes, I mean, there are often a lot of other chronic diseases that seniors are dealing with, and this can kind of cause a lot of these to just unravel, if they're already in a debilitated state. So really the key here is to just address and understand what are the reasons why seniors are going to fall in the first place. And unfortunately, as we get older, a lot of our faculties are just not as acute as they once were, including our vision, our sense of balance, from our inner ear, as well as our sense of just being able to feel our body. I know that you had a guest earlier talking about wounds, and a lot of that has to do with neuropathy, which is, our word of the day, problems with your nerves, and being able to kind of feel where you are in space. And as that becomes a little bit worse as we get older, we have to kind of pay attention and make sure that we're looking at our environment, our vision, and any other accessories we can do to balance ourselves.
So a big thing is prevention. How can we prevent some of these falls?
Well, I think using non-slip footwear, not walking around with socks. One of the things when I was working in the emergency room years ago that I'd see is that a lot of times these falls occurred in the bathroom in the middle of the night. I'd say turning on the light, because you need to have those visual cues, and then certainly having appropriate grab bars or things to steady yourself as you're trying to get around.
That's a good one. I can think of a time when my grandma fell right there in the bathroom and fell into the door and hit her head. Vision, again, you mentioned, so keep up with the eye exams. And what about maybe taking into account medications that you're on?
That's a great point. And that's something where you should really have an honest conversation with your physician about, your primary care physician about what are the relative risks versus benefits of some of the medications I'm on. Because some of these medications, you could tolerate when you were younger, but as you get older and it can have more pronounced side effects that affect your ability to maintain your balance, you have to have some frank conversations and saying, is this antihistamine or this antidepressant or any of a number of other classes of medications providing me with a greater benefit, or could it be increasing my risk for a fall?
You also talked about balance and strength. You at some of these clinics have a fitness class for folks to walk in, get a little stronger, get more active. That's all such a trickle-down effect.
It really is. And just kind of to the earlier point of staying active, and we want to ensure that we're providing resources to really work on that muscle strength and that balance training, because it's kind of a use it or lose it. And you want to be able to steady yourself if you do find yourself in that situation. And we hope that we can provide that through the Optum Community Centers.
And there are 3 centers in Layton, Sandy, and West Valley that all host a variety of those fitness classes for every level, free and open to anyone in the community 55 and over.
That's right. You don't have to be an Optum member, for everybody.
Check out optum.com/Utah, optum.com/Utah Centers to find out where we can do those activities. Dr. Valentine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to Optum for sponsoring this interview. We'll be right back with more Good Things Utah.